everybody. My name is Kim Ross-Hollingsworth, and I am the founder of the Arts and Authors Extravaganza and Book Builders Academy, where we provide a platform for authors and artists to showcase and sell their work. Also, we teach new and current authors how to write, publish, and market their books. And with this podcast is called Arts and Authors Talk, where we get a chance to learn a little bit more about our authors and artists and just dig a little deeper just to find out how they got started, what they're doing now, and how you can purchase their work. So tonight, we actually have an author. Actually, she's so many different things. I'm just going to bring her on so that she can explain to you what she does. Carolyn Wilson, how are you?
What's going on, Kimberly?
You probably get a chance to learn a little bit more about you.
I know. Oh my gosh, it's so easier when you just read the bio.
I know, right? It sure is. And yours is long.
It's long, but there's a short truncated version of it. But yeah, it's
That's
a lot,
so
y'all.
true.
It's a lot, y'all, because God has been good and
Well,
blessed.
just tell us a little bit about you. Just tell us just a little bit, and then we'll find out more later.
Okay, all right. So basically, as she said, I'm Carolyn Wilson. I'll tell you, I'm the Fearless Magnified Educator. And I empower and I inspire women around the world to just overcome this number one culprit, which is fear. Fear keeps us from doing the things that we should do, and it has us do the things that we really shouldn't. So with all of that, I am a 5-time best-selling author, a international motivational speaker, a award-winning filmmaker, and a child of God. So I'm first and foremost, that's the first and foremost thing. And because of him, and I choose him, is how all of those titles, all of those things that are behind my name and part of who I am has been created. So it's just start with that.
That is the truth. And just to let you know, I've been a fan of yours for many years. And we've been friends for quite some time now.
Quite some time.
You just stated when we first met, and I didn't even know this.
Yeah.
But it's so long.
That was a long time ago. I would say that was 2014, give or take.
Wow.
And I remember the question that you asked me at that time, because it was a question when you were speaking. You were a speaker, and I was just in the audience, right? I was there to see you. How about that, right? And so I remember you had asked all the audience about, defining moments, and I clearly remember my answer. My answer was, it depends on the moment that you wish to define. And that was your response back then too.
But you know what? It's so profound, and people don't think about it. If you really sat and thought about the answer to that question, it'll amaze you. Yeah. It really will. So when did you first become an author?
In 2017, when it was my other book, Lord have mercy, 2017.
Yes.
2017 was my first solo book.
Right.
Matter of fact, that year
you did some collaborations too, right?
I did some collaborations, and ironically, it was like a trifecta, because I came out with 3 books at the same time.
What?
Who does that?
I know.
Who does that? So it was, Lord, child, please. It was shout out to Felicia Jones.
Yes.
It was His Grace. No. That was the other book. This one was I'm Fine. I got to put the authors right. I'm Fine. A Woman's Silent Cry. That was the book that I did with her. And then from that, there was another author on that book who was doing a collaboration, and I chose to get on her project.
Right.
With a whole nother, I kicked and screamed. I didn't want to do that because I ain't like the title.
Right. What was that title?
I didn't like the title, and I'm gonna share with you. I ain't like it, but guess what? It was the most powerful title ever, and I think that's why I was rejecting it, because I didn't want to embrace it. But I had to come to realization. It was His Grace is Sufficient. He turned my mess into a message.
Oh, I like that title. I do.
Oh, I love it now. But when I first saw it, I was like, what you talk about? My life is not a mess. Because my book was positive, Magnified
Right.
Thoughts, all about positive thinking and
Exactly.
changing your narrative. And, I looked at that as negative, not realizing the power of what it really was. So like I said,
Exactly.
there's some growth and everything. And that was Teresa Hawley. So I came
Yes.
out with those 3 books. And so watch this. So all 3 books, right? I'm Fine, A Woman's Silent Cry. His
Yeah.
grace is sufficient. He turned my mess into a message. And Magnified Thoughts, a transformational journey to discover your amazing you. Look at the power in those stories.
Wow. Exactly.
And that's what I came out with.
Hey, Linda.
What's going on, Linda? Miss Purple Lady.
The Purple Lady. Yes.
Lady. Congratulations.
I know she's going to kill me,
I
though.
know she got another book that just came out. Shout out to her.
Yes. Shout out to you. I can't wait to get it. Excuse me, you guys. I have a little cough.
No apologies needed. It is what it is. This is that time of year. Trying to find if I can share this to my page too. Again.
Exactly.
Again.
So make sure you put all your links on here.
Okay.
So that we'll be able to look up the books and follow you and so forth.
And all that good stuff. All that good stuff.
Yes. So tell us, because there's a lot about you that I really want to get, let everybody hear, even with you speaking with Les Brown and Cheryl Wood and so forth. But what made you want to, become an author and become a speaker? What led you to do all this stuff? Because you have some, like your Be Magnified event that you have. The last one that I went to, I think it was at the Sugar House.
Yes, Celebrating You Women's Conference, which
is
happening again. It's happening.
What? Shoot, man.
Calling all authors.
It was so lit. I was like, yes. But that was really nice. And that was with Narda.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So Narda spoke at that one.
Well, Narda was actually she was my MC. She was actually the host.
MC.
She was actually the host.
Yes.
Yeah, I let her be the host. Put your mask on.
Stupid.
I know.
She told me to put my mask on.
I know, right? Put your mask on. I know. Thank you, Linda. Like
she's a mess.
Hot mess.
Yes. But that was great. So we're having the next one is going to be when?
It's going to be December 10th and 11th.
Oh, it's this year.
Oh yeah.
How come I didn't see anything about it?
Because I'm
I have to buy my ticket.
Yes.
So we definitely please put the link to that on here too. Well, so because Linda might go with me on that one.
Okay. All right. Yeah, definitely. So I'm in the process of doing all that stuff now. I just moved differently. That's all I'm gonna say.
So how many years have you been doing your event?
This will be my 8th year.
Oh wow.
Yeah, this will be my 8th year.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
I really enjoy that event. And you empower so many different people and different women, because you had women, men, and children there last time. So it's like you empower so many different people. And can you tell us a little bit about the event, like about your conference? Tell us exactly what it's about.
Sure. I'm sorry. I'm looking at it because I found the link. I'm going to post it to my page.
Okay.
I had to go around the world to get it. So the conference is called Celebrating You Women's Conference in Expo. And what it is, it's just a day to just celebrate all of these amazing individuals, right? Because it's women and it's also men that really gets placed on my spirit to just honor. And we celebrate the accomplishments of speakers, of authors, and now filmmakers. Those were some of the things that I incorporated during, the shutdown. I like to say when the world decided to shut down, I turned on.
I think a lot of us did.
I turned on in full effect. So we'll just see, listen, all of this stuff. Yeah, I know, Linda. Nobody knows.
I know, Linda, because I didn't know either until now.
So feel privileged that you guys are the first ones that I announced this to. So
Oh,
there you go. That's why you didn't hear anything.
oh,
Yeah.
well,
So
I feel,
you got
listen, I'm
the scoop.
honored.
You got the breaking news.
I'm honored.
You have the breaking news.
Yes. Okay. So what do you like with Les Brown? Because you
Yes.
just spoke with him. Tell
Yes.
us how did you get started in speaking and what drew you to become a speaker?
Lord have mercy. That is a good question. Speaking has been something. I'll just break this down. It's so crazy when I think about it. You know how you put things out there in the universe. You just speak things
Mhm.
into existence.
Sure
You
do.
don't really understand the power of your words. There's power with your thoughts. There's power with the things that you manifest in your life for good
Yes.
and for bad, right? Because manifestation isn't always great. Manifestation can be the things that you bring to yourself, just like right.
Mm-hmm.
So years ago, I've always been about um, personal development and self development and professional development. So
Yes.
back in the day, back in the day, right? I know I don't look that old, but back in the day, right?
You
When
just as old as I am.
we look amazing. I'm just gonna say, boom. So back when when we first get our footings into corporate America or getting our jobs, we always want to break the glass ceiling, and we want to go ahead and make our mark in the workplace, right?
Mhm.
So for there was opportunity. So what I did is I actually went ahead and I said, well, there was an organization that we had called Minority in Minority Interchange.
Okay.
So what it was just we belonged to the group, and then we had like monthly meetings, and then they had a conference. So they had like this a weekend conference. You go away, and it was just all this empowerment and career development. It was really career
Yes.
development, right? So you kind of add that, and it looks good on your resume. It looks good when
Yeah.
you're trying to apply for another position in the company. And I worked for one of the top insurance companies, really for the most part, I guess, in the world at the time. I don't know where
Mhm.
they're at now, but that's where I went. And I remember going to this conference. And I was just so excited because I'm like, the job sent me away and put me up. And, I'm
Ah,
like, I'm in my 20s, and, I'm like, ooh, right. So I'm thinking I'm doing something.
yeah.
Right.
Been there.
Yeah, literally. And I just remember sitting there, and I remember the one workshop I was in, and the guy, I can't remember his name, but he went, so if you could be anything, because of course we're all like, I want management, I want this, I want that, I want this, I
Yes.
want that, right? And he was like, you know what, that sounds good. But if you could do anything, like anything, that has nothing to do with your job, nothing to do with climbing up that ladder, nothing to do with being a supervisor or a manager or a director, because that's what we aspire to be,
Yes,
right?
exactly.
And I was like, motivational speaker. I was like, motivational speaker. It just came out my
Yes.
mouth. And he was like, just something that has nothing to do, because at the time I was in that whole track of, I'm gonna be a manager, I'm gonna do this, I was on
Right,
that
right.
level, right, going up my steps. And it was like, motivational speaker. And I remember sitting there watching, being at the conference, and I'm like looking at them and watching them how they're teaching. I sit back and go, I could do this. I remember
What?
saying, it's like, I could do
What?
this. And so it was something that was already there that I just did not really know,
Wow.
but it was already there because,
Right, right.
but I spoke it and I put it out there. So now, universe, God heard me and said, okay, we're going to start putting some things in order to make this happen.
Yes. And was that when you started your conference?
No, 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 no.
Wow.
No. So we talking some years went by before my conference started. My conference started in 24. Well, no. Well, yeah, I have to break it down how my conference started. My
Uh-huh.
conference started as a workshop.
Oh,
The
wow.
workshop that I said back in the
Hold on.
day that
We yeah, I think I went to one of your workshops, or I was supposed to go when we were at Sharon Addison's event. There you go. I remember now. I remember now. Yes.
Yes. And Erica was a speaker at one of them.
Yep.
Erica was a speaker at one of them. So shout out to Erica Gordon. So I am, and I know her name has changed at this point, but that's why I remember you as. So that's where you go.
I think she's still Gordon.
She's still Gordon? Okay. Shout out to Erica.
I believe so.
Yeah.
Oh no, she's Blocker.
But she was Gordon.
Yes.
That's how far back I'm going. That's how long I've known y'all.
Yes, a long time.
Yeah, she hasn't been Gordon in forever. Good God. Yeah. I'm sorry, Erica. My bad. we go way back. But in any event, so yeah, it started off as just me doing a workshop. And it was a workshop that I did. Ironically, it was to, I believe the spirit gave it to me as a distraction. Because of what was going on in my life and what I needed to work on. When it was the whole, the whole thing that pretty much my whole platform is, about that's built on that, right? With me being a survivor of sexual child abuse.
Yes.
And so with dealing with that, and that's kind of like, it gets into like, I don't know if you want to show the trailer at some point, that kind of breaks down what that whole time period was all about.
Do you know how to put that on?
Let's see.
Because I was going to ask you about that next. Anyway, so what better time to do it than now?
Okay, well, since I didn't have no time like the present then, right?
Yes.
So let's see if I can. I should be able to. Let's see. Let me make sure I pull it up. Okay, so that's there. Oh yeah. Pause that. Come back here. Look.
And you actually have. Did it come up? The movie.
Yeah, the film. Right. This is what I'm. Live screen. Okay, here we go. Share my screen.
Okay.
So let me share my screen with. And I got the audio tab. There you go. All right. So looks like you should be able to hear it. Thumbs up. I'm hoping everybody can hear it. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay.
I remember my father.
Can you hear that?
We can hear it.
Being this person that was loving. But it wasn't until I got older to realize that some of those childhood memories and stories weren't actually normal.
Carolyn Wilson was molested as a child, and it took 30 years before her molester was imprisoned. It didn't happen until he assaulted another child.
I remember those supposed to have been court cases. That never happened. It just went away. My father went away. The abuse went away. And so did justice.
Yeah, so that's that.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I started pole dance where 2011 when.
Yeah, so that's the good one.
Because like so many of us that have experienced that, trauma of going through, some sort of sexual abuse as a child, yours was a tad bit different because it was your own father.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, a lot of people don't realize how hard that is,
Right. And that is the person
especially somebody that you trust.
Right. Well, that's usually, it comes from someone that you trust, right? Thank you, Linda. So it's literally, when you break down, that was my foundation, right? That was the foundational part of my life. Your father, your mother, your parents are your first teachers, right? Exactly. And so my father, who, should have been the one to teach me other stuff, like how to love myself, right? How to be treated, and things of that nature, as in that type of dynamic with male and female, and that just wasn't the case. I was taught something totally different. Totally different. So, that is, unfortunately, that's not an anomaly. There's a lot of people that share the same story as I. Some with their father, some with not. But no one is immune to any of those things, right? Babysitter, a neighbor, something, right? But then it trickles down to, because I didn't have that foundation, then it allowed the other stuff to come in. So now here we go. It allowed the being a teenage parent to come in. It allowed being in multiple domestic violence and intimate partner relationships to come in. It allowed the low self-esteem to come in. It allowed the, with all of that and the trauma, the bouts with homelessness to come in. It allowed, do I need to keep going? It allowed the having, children out of wedlock to come in. It allowed having multiple baby daddies to come. Like the list that allowed to be on welfare.
Goes on and on.
The list goes on and on and on and on and on, right?
Yes.
But yet, even though all of those things are the case, you still have a choice.
Exactly.
You still have a choice to change your life. You still have a choice. God gives us a choice with every single thing. Those things that have occurred and happened to me, they just happen through me. And I like to say they happen through me to fully exalt me.
Because and they don't define you.
Yeah, they definitely don't define me, because they didn't belong to me. They belong to them. They didn't belong to me. I just chose to continue to carry them because I didn't know better. There's a whole saying I love to say, when you know better, you do better.
Yes.
And I know a lot better. So I do a lot better. And then when there's things when I still mess up, that's because, I didn't learn that yet. So I give myself grace. I still, even to this day, I still be like, that wasn't cool.
Yes. But you know what? Even though, I always think that, I always know that every single thing happens for a reason. And, like I said, it happened to me when I was a little girl. I was like 6 or 7. No, probably about 6 or 7. But it shows you things. You learn from things. And I just knew that this is something that, I had to watch out for when, by having daughters.
Right.
It just teaches you like different things. And, I always slept with one eye open, because things you don't want to happen to your kids, the same thing that happened to you.
Exactly. And that is so true, because I know, like, when you talk about with your daughters, like I actually, with my son, it was like, okay, I had my son. But then when I had my daughter, it was different.
Yes.
It was just a difference. Where I know without a shadow of doubt, I was beyond overly protective of my daughter.
Oh yeah. I was
beyond.
Well, I still am.
Still am. I'm starting to release the rope a little bit, but it just has a difference. It has it literally, having my daughter, it opened my eyes to things too, because, people were always, well, how long has it been? And I knew it was as far as back as I can remember. I could say, at least 3, 4. But when I had my daughter, my whole body just remembered some stuff. I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. Was I a baby? I was a baby.
What?
That's why I say, so it's, I can say, because here's the thing. When people go through trauma, any kind of trauma, your body remembers.
Yeah.
Your body responds and reacts.
True.
And so for me to respond and react when I had my daughter the way I did, like my body, my mind, everything about me, my spirit, everything was just off kilter. And I didn't have that experience with my son. And so then it made me go, oh, wait a minute. This thing goes way back.
It's so true.
I was an infant. Wow. I was an infant when this was happening to me.
So did you ever get therapy or?
Oh, absolutely.
Well, I never got therapy from mom.
Well, okay. Let me rewind. Not when I was younger. No.
Right.
I didn't seek therapy until I was an adult. Until I was an adult. And so I was like, okay, something's off. So this thing is happening and I need to fix this stuff. So then, this was all around the time back to now circling back to how the conference started, because I did a workshop because I needed something to distract me, right? I needed something to empower me. Right. So it was stuff that people would always come to me about different things that I've accomplished, right? As far as, going back to school as an adult. Okay. All the things that the topics and the things that my conference stands on, those are things that I have accomplished. Volunteering was always my thing. Volunteering was essential to my soul.
Yes.
Essential to my soul. By volunteering, the spirit of giving back was always something that really meant a lot to me.
Yes.
Like, me and my kids, I would have them go out. We would do things with like Chosen 300. We would go out there and feed the homeless. Like, that was part of my makeup. And I made sure my children understood that. So, and having people understand how valuable volunteering is.
Yes.
And how it can, when you want to go back to this whole career thing, how do you change careers? Well, people would ask me, how did you get those jobs? And how did you do? Because everything is interchangeable.
Yes, it
So
is.
don't pay attention to your job title. Pay attention to your job skills.
I say it all the time.
So the title has nothing to do with it. It's all about your skills that are transferable from one position to the next. And that's how I've been able to change careers over and over and over and over again, because my skill set matched what was needed and required. So it was when preparation meets opportunity.
That's good.
So it's never good luck. It's never like, oh, happy percent. No. I was prepared.
That's it.
I was prepared. So I believe that for everything that happens to me, I have always been prepared by something that I'm doing that at the moment don't make a hillbill of sense. But then later it does, because I was being prepared. So being at that conference way back, saying, I want to be a motivational speaker. That's just the words that came out. I didn't even think. It just was like motivational speaker. I was like, where'd that come from? But then I was just like, yeah, I could do that. Right? Like,
yes.
I could do that. And then this whole feel good thing, and then watching what they're doing, I'm like, I could do that. And I could do that. And so now here we are, and I'm like, I can do that. And guess what? I'm doing it because I believed. I was like, all right, yeah, I could do that. So in this process of me, going through this re-trigger, I think I saw Linda talked about these triggers.
Yes, the triggers
that came up with me with the whole molestation with my father, because it was when you watch the film, I go into more detail about that, because it had came back up. It came back up, and it came back and it hit me with a vengeance. Like when you go through things in your life and then you're kind of like, something's off, but I could never figure out what the off was. Right. So here it is. Even though I had all of those, because I can tell you one thing, people that go through trauma, we are so overachievers. It's ungodly. So if you meet an overachiever, find out what happened in their life.
That's it.
That's so true. If you run into someone who's an overachiever, peel back the layers and find out what's that thing.
It's so true.
What's that thing? So I can tell you what my thing was. My thing was I was molested by my father. I could tell you that my thing was that my grandfather told me that my life was ruined when I was pregnant at 18 years old. So I just set out on this quest that, consciously and subconsciously, that I'm going to prove you wrong. That's right. And I'm going to be in places where people don't expect me to be.
That's right.
So I'm going to progress in this ladder, right? I'm going to raise this ladder. I'm going to raise this bar. I'm going to, go to this workshop. I'm going to get into management. I'm going to do I did all of that.
Yep.
But it wasn't satisfying to my soul.
Right.
This other stuff that just came out, and I'm like, yeah, I could do that. And yeah, motivational speaker. Apparently that was what I was supposed to be doing.
Yes.
But I didn't know it because I was chasing this other thing. I was being corporately conditioned to be in this place and space that's saying that, especially, then you're a woman, and then, women, we always got to try to, and then, woman of color, like I'm really trying to be there, right? I'm trying to be the one in the boardroom. And guess what? I was the one in the boardroom. I was the one in management. I was the one. I did all of that, but there was still something. I did go back to school and earn 3 degrees. Right. I did all of those things. I did become a chairman of a board, of a long-standing board that's over 100 years old, and I was the first African American woman. Like,
wow.
history. I'm making history, right? But it didn't matter. It didn't even feel like I was doing any, because I'm like, even though I got all these accolades, I got the titles, the letters behind my name and all the stuff. I got all that stuff. I had earned all that stuff. It took me years to even admit that I had an MBA. I still never would put MBA on anything. I have an MBA. You know the percentage of people that have an MBA is not that many. But I have one, and I never acknowledged it, right? Because there was still this piece of me. There was still this piece of me that was like, none of this stuff feels right, and none of this stuff matches. Like, so you're going, and my MBA is in international finance.
Wow.
Okay, I got the international piece, right? But international finance. And I'm like, I'm really going to do this. And I was convincing myself that this is what I was going to do. And yet that wasn't right, because anything that I tried to do, if it wasn't in alignment, it got blocked.
Yeah.
It got blocked. So yeah, exactly. So that literally allowed me to understand and know, okay, so the things that I spoke out into this, right? Because that's what felt right to me. This other stuff doesn't. And I'm like, okay, God, like, something is off. Like, I even did a timeline of my whole life. I said, okay, at 18, this happened. At 15, this happened. At 18, this happened. This happened. This, I'm like, my life on paper, this thing is jacked up. But right, I'm like, but I know I've accomplished all these things.
Right.
But I'm gonna be 100% transparent, and this is not throwing shade at anybody, because this is just how I felt.
Right. Exactly.
I felt I had all these accolades, I had all of these accomplishments, and I was in places and spaces where people didn't expect me to be.
Right.
But yet I felt like that 18-year-old that was in line getting her food stamps and on welfare, and I didn't feel like I matched the places where I was.
Wow.
And that happens to a lot of us, that when we're in this corporate environment, or we're in this environment and trying to raise the bar, and we're trying to figure out why we don't feel like we fit in, because we don't. And there's something in your spirit that really, that's not where you should be. You hear a lot of executives, right? The ones that make it, and they're executives, or they're lawyers or whatever, and they have these professions, and they've made the money, but they're not happy.
Right.
Their souls are not satisfied, because it's not what they truly should be doing.
It's so true.
It's not truly what they should be doing. So here it is. I had this quest, and I wanted to know, okay, help me out with this. So God was like, okay, I'm gonna give it to you. But guess what? It's not gonna come to you pretty in a bow. I want to see how bad you want this for yourself. Like, you want to be free. You want things to make sense. You want to, okay, I'm gonna show you. So boom, here you go. Let me see what you do with it. And what I had to do with it was when I found out my father was molesting another child.
Yeah.
And so that's when all of those emotions, all of the things that I suppressed, all of the things that, like, because I suppressed them so I can move up in the ladder with everything, right?
Right.
It just, my whole world came crashing. It was beyond broken pieces, Linda. It was beyond. It was beyond that. So
is that what made you, start the movie and to start digging a little deeper and then press charges and all that kind of stuff?
Well, see, no, I wasn't. At that time, I wasn't thinking about no movie. I wasn't thinking about no book. I wasn't thinking about any of those things, but what was right for me. Right. I wasn't, and I was thinking about what was right for her, for this other little girl.
Right.
And so it was about, it was literally, and this is what it's so interesting. What I had told one of my ladies from my book, for this my recent book, her story. I said, like, all this stuff, this has nothing to do with fame. This has nothing to do with it. It has everything to do with freedom. So when you want to be free,
I agree.
You want to be free, you do it by any means necessary. And so God gave this to me and said, okay, so what you gonna do with it? So my spirit, my soul was like, you know what? Okay, then I know what I got to do. And that started this whole movement within myself to just coming forward and to then use my voice in a way that I never, ever, ever, ever used before. And I didn't even use it for me. I used it for her.
Yes.
Right. I didn't even use it for me. I used it for her. And so that's really the thing that got all of this started. But everything prior to that was prepping me.
Right, exactly.
Everything was prepping me. Being in leadership, being in boards, being in these places and spaces, right? Because isn't that what I'm doing now? I'm in places and spaces, right?
Yeah.
Where people would never expect for me to be.
Nope.
Right. Listen, everything is a setup, but you just got to allow and trust God in the process. And not get stuck in the moment of your despair, of all the things that have happened to you or those different things. If you really take a look at it and you understand how to apply it and how to move forward, you'll see that all this stuff is preparing you for what God has for you, not for anyone else, but for you.
I agree. And plus it's therapeutic. Like when I first wrote my memoir, it was therapeutic for me, like to get it off my chest, and it was a form of healing.
Oh, so healing. Yes, number one word, healing.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And then I thought about it. I'm like, did you really put yourself through all that and your children? And it's like you think about it, and it gives you a chance to think, like, wow.
Yeah. I mean,
and you're never going to do it again because now you actually see it on paper. Mm-hmm. It's not just in your head as thoughts. You actually read it, and can see it. And it does change things.
Yeah. Yeah. When what I was about to say, I just saw somebody said something about masterclass. I'm like, what the heck is that? But anyway.
What did they say?
Oh, write your book masterclass. Yeah, that was me.
That was, you know what? I can't get that off. That has been on there since the very first time I did it. I tried to practice alive, and I can't get it off. So
oh, okay. I'm like, what's that? Okay, yeah,
I don't know what it is.
That was literally at 7 o'clock.
Figure it out.
You'll figure it out. So, but one of the things, like I said, with it is therapeutic because it allowed me to just release all of the stuff that was bothering me, that was holding me down and keeping me back, and things of that nature that wasn't allowing me to propel in a way that the spirit wanted me to propel. Right. I was trying to go in one direction, and it was like, no, that's not where I want you. But I'm going to allow you to go through some of this stuff because I need those skills. I need those transferable skills. I need your leadership because I'm going to entrust you with some things, right? I need your stick to itness, right? Because I'm going to need you for some things. I'm going to need your dedication because I'm going to need you for some things. I'm going to need you. So, that's when it just came to my head. I remember clear as day. I was at work, and before I went to lunch, it was like popped in my head. Now here go back and go. I can do that. Remember, like do this workshop. And I was like, I think I'm gonna do a workshop. Like it was just that simple. It wasn't like this whole whiteboard thing saying, okay, I'm gonna map this out and I'm gonna do all of that.
Me.
It was just literally like I'm sitting there like, what I'm gonna have for lunch today? And I was like, I think I'm gonna do a workshop.
Yep.
I was like,
you tweak it as you go.
A workshop. So I was like, all right, well, okay, I'm gonna go run, and I need a place to do it. So I guess I'm gonna, let me go to the library near the house. So I don't know. I think let me just go to the library. I didn't even know. Now, mind you, always going to the library with my daughter, so she can get her books and her movies and stuff like that. But I didn't know they had rooms. It was just literally just popped in my head. It was like, okay, I think I'm gonna go to the library. And the whole time I'm like, I don't even know why I'm doing this, but okay. I went to the library, walked in, was like, I want to know if you have a room or something. And the person who was a librarian was somebody that I knew. She was like, we sure do. Come on, let me show you. And I'm like, okay. She was like, when you want the date? We could do that. I'm like, May 17th, I guess. I'm like, I had no stinking clue. So she was like, okay, good. I'll show you the room and this. And I'm like, okay. And I remember leaving it. I don't even think I got lunch that day. I remember leaving going, I guess I'm having a workshop.
That's it.
I guess I need to make a flyer. I was like, I guess I need to call some people. I don't know who to call, but it literally, I just
make it happen.
It just happened. I just, like you said, make it happen. That was one of the taglines I had, just make it happen.
That's my tagline.
And everything that when, the thought came and I just said, I opened up my mouth and said yes. And when you say yes, then everything else will come.
Well,
you don't have to worry about the house. You don't have to worry about the house. So the long story short, I love that tagline, long story short, right? It's never a short story, right? I don't know why people say that. Because I just go, okay, this is gonna be a while. So I was about to say it again. I'm not gonna do it. So what wound up happening, I did the event. I had, over the room was over, people were standing in this little teeny library room. The room, they didn't even have a projector. I had to project on the metal cabinet. Right. I think it was like over 30 people that showed up to this one-off thing that I just did just to keep myself occupied. But it was good stuff, right? Because I wanted people to learn the things that I have learned. And there we go. I had this event. It was like, yes. And then people was like, when's the next one? And I was like, next what?
I know, right?
I'm like, next what? It's like, this was amazing. And I'm like, I don't even know how I put this together. Y'all want another one?
Right.
So I was like, all right, okay, let me.
It becomes easy the more you do it.
So I was like, all right, July. Because I did it in May. I was like, July. I was like, I am not doing this. Took a lot of energy. This took a lot. So I said, okay. So then I just said, you know what? Let me just sit still and then when I said yes, once again, when I said yes, then I got, okay, well, let's just do this every other month. Right. Break up your 5 topics and just do it and choose one every other month. And I'm like, oh, okay. Did that. That turned into a whole thing. And I'm like, and I'm always questioning myself, well, what's next? Right. Because now I did it. I did something that I didn't think I was going to do. Right. And then I did something that I didn't think I was going to do. And it was successful, right? Because I said yes. There was no other alternative motive behind it. It was just making sure other people got information that they needed to help them succeed. And in that process, me being able, so now I'm being of service, right? So now while I am being of service and I am helping other people, in turn, it was truly helping me.
It always does.
That was at the time when I was going through my healing, right? And that was one of the things that sparked it and helped it. So when I asked that question, what's next? And I said, I did this for a year. Carolyn, that's really good. You know what? It's time to celebrate. But you know what? I always wanted to honor other people. So guess what we're going to do? That's what we're going to do. We're going to celebrate, not me. We're going to celebrate you.
Yeah.
And then that was the birth of the Celebrating You Women's Conference.
And I love it. I love it. Now, also, you had a transformation, like as far as weight loss transformation.
Yes, yes.
About that and Dr. Oz and all that good stuff, because that was amazing. I just want you to know that was amazing. And to me, but you know what? It wasn't about me. You didn't look like you needed to lose that much weight. I was like, she's not big. But it wasn't about me. It was about how you felt and what you wanted to accomplish. So tell us about it.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So that was another transformational thing. And, putting stuff out there and into the universe of what I wanted to accomplish. And it turned into being on national television. I did not expect to lose weight on national television. That wasn't my goal. That's just what happened. I sought out to be on his show for
Right.
other reasons, right? Nothing to do
Right.
with weight loss. But I wanted to lose weight. And then the two just married. And I was like, okay, now that's me. And so here
Yes.
we go. I go on this journey and I just embraced it. And I just embraced it to have fun with it. I really didn't know what the outcome was going to be.
Right.
I really just wanted to, for me, it was about having a healthy lifestyle. And
Right.
it was about changing the narrative because I was on a pathway that was not going to allow me to even, I didn't think it was going to allow me to even be here this day.
Yeah.
I was about to turn 50 and my mother did not live to be past 51. She was 2 months shy of her 52nd birthday. So first and foremost, it was a vain issue, because I'm like, I'm about to be 50. I'm trying to be fabulous in 50.
Yeah.
And I'm looking like I'm looking, I'm not feeling fabulous, right? Now, Gwen, like you said, I knew how to wear things appropriately and
Yes.
accordingly to my body type and my
Right.
body shape. So a lot of people, like you said, didn't realize, like,
Nope.
you didn't look bad. And now what's bad, I don't know. But
Exactly.
I didn't look like I needed to lose the weight, right? Because I was
Right.
like, you looked fine. And I'm like, yeah, I did. And I was still happy and I was still doing all this stuff.
Yes, you were.
But I knew the other stuff that people didn't know, that I had autoimmune stuff going on. I was doing chemo. Like I was still pushing through and still motivating people and still doing stuff while
Yes.
I was going through these health issues.
Right.
And it was starting, I was getting a lens and saying, okay, wait a minute. I'm about to turn 50. My mother didn't make it to 52.
Mm-hmm.
She had autoimmune. I have developed autoimmune. She had this happened around when she was 46. This happened when I was around 46. There was too many similarities. And I was like, okay, no. When you know better,
You
you
do.
do better. She was on prednisone. I was on prednisone. Like it was just too similar.
Right.
And I said, you know what? I need to be here. I need to be here for those who need me the most.
Exactly.
And that's first and foremost my children. And then secondly, it's everyone else that I empower and I inspire based on my truth and my story.
That's
and
right.
the things that I was already doing. So that was my why, right? And I just knew I needed to do something different. And that's where that all came from. Now, did I know that I was going to lose that much weight and go back to? No, I didn't, because that wasn't my goal, right? That wasn't my goal. My goal was to just make sure that I was healthy and I had a healthy, just create a healthy lifestyle.
Right.
That, or give me the tools that I can use over and over and over and over and over again. Yeah. Do I, slip on some things? Absolutely. Right. But I still have the tools and I still know what to do and how to do it and what works for me. Right. So yeah, like you said, people didn't know until they saw the before and after. It's like, wow, I had no clue that you had gained that much weight.
Right.
Like, yeah, like I was almost 200 pounds, so, but they said, oh, but you carried it well.
Yeah, you did.
Okay. I guess I did. And I did, right? And I did. And I can admit that I did. But my body was not carrying it well. When my knees were, not working properly, I couldn't walk up and down a flight of steps. I couldn't wear heels. And I love my heels. Like, it was like I wasn't feeling it. I wasn't feeling it. Right. So it's a personal journey, regardless of what some people may feel and how they feel. I always say that, my journey for myself was that I can say for myself, that I got fat.
Right.
But my fat, watch this, my fat was my failure to acknowledge my truth. And my truth was how I got to be that size. And the truth was all the things that came with it and what I wasn't doing properly. Yes. So that was my reality, what I had to go through and my journey in that whole process. And yeah, and that's pretty much what happened with that. And that's how I got to be on part of the reasons, just the alignment. It was just the perfect timing in my life. to be on there. And I just, I lost the weight at first, the 20 pounds. And then since I had already created this lifestyle, then the world shut down. And I just kept going. And like I said, my body just remembered, like, oh, okay, I remember when you were this small. So it just went back to being that small. And then that's where it stopped. And it's not like I kept going. That's where it stopped. Bill was like, oh my God, don't lose no more weight. I'm like, I'm not trying to lose weight. My body just remembered, oh, you used to be this small. Okay, go back to being that small. I'm like,
right.
I don't even remember being this small. It's been so long.
You did get tiny.
I got tiny. Yeah.
But you know what? You wear it well. You wear it well.
Yeah, I got tiny. But that was normally that was how I really was. I was really that tiny, but people just never knew that I was that small.
Right.
I was always that small. I didn't get larger until I went through all this drama, all this trauma, all this, depression, right? And when I got sick, and the stress is what triggered all of the autoimmune stuff. So it all coincides. It all coincides. So that's that transformational journey. So now, now I'm just glad that things are filling back in the right places and spaces, because I was a little girly. I was like, can I just be womanly? I'm looking a little girly now. Like, wait a minute. I accidentally put on my daughter's jeans. I was like, oh no.
Yeah.
She was like, Mom, those are mine. I was like, please don't tell me I just put your clothes on. I had to put my daughter's jeans. Yeah. She was like, you can have them now.
Oh, you know what? But now you went through so many different accomplishments. What do you have coming up next?
So what's coming up next? So, I had kind of talked about a little bit the Her, which is Her Story. And that's the compilation. That's the 25 women from around the world. Just so proud of that project. These women, I think I see a couple of them on there right now. Like I Am My Brother's Keeper. That's Monique Mormon. She that's my dog right there. Actually, we're going to be featured on Friday in a bookstore down in DC. So that's coming up this Friday. I don't know, Monique, can maybe put the information there. I don't remember, but just put down the information in there, Monique. So Her Story, which is healed, empowered, resilient. We talk about that H at healed. So healed, empowered, resilient. These women are really just sharing, their truths, and they're sharing how they got to be her. I am her, you are her, we are all her. That's leading into now. I have a new set of ladies for Her Story 2. We are working together now, so there will be a part 2 to this book, this anthology. So it's turning into a series. It's crazy, right? Then you guys got the exclusive. You got the exclusive of the Celebrating You Women's Conference,
so awesome.
Annual. Call for speakers, call for authors, call for filmmakers. I need you. I need to showcase you at the Celebrating You Women's Conference. And I have the Sister's Choice Award. So if you know a sister who's doing something phenomenal, amazing, you want them to be recognized, then you nominate them. So this call is right now. Get y'all, put y'all info, you'll put y'all name in the hat ASAP. Like right now. So you can go to, if you pull my thing up, that link, my link tree, that's the easiest place to go. It's the link tree.
Okay, let me see.
Carolyn Wilson. So go there, link tree, / Carolyn Wilson. Then you will see the link to vote, not to vote, but to nominate a sister for Sister's Choice Award, and also to put your name in the hat to be spotlighted as a speaker, as an author, and or as a filmmaker.
Awesome.
So I have the bit.lys for those, but I think that'll just be the easiest thing. If you just go to the link, you can just find it all right there. And you can find the Her Story book there. You can find basically everything about me. You go to that link as well. So that's the easiest way, and place and space. So those are the things that are coming up next. Listen, 2023 and me, y'all ain't seen nothing yet. Listen, 2022.
Don't forget the little people.
Listen, you guys, we all doing the doggone thing together. I'm just saying. So I am right now, as we were talking earlier. So I know we're gonna, because I had let you know ahead of time. I am wrapping up the Her Story World Pop-Up Book Tour. The traveling part of it for myself. It will end in December. The conference is December 10th and 11th. Right now, the call for all of the people that's first. So if you stay with the link tree, you will see the link to register so you can attend. And all that information will be forthcoming this week. So just keep that link and you'll be able to go there for everything. But the Her Story Tour will end at the conference. So that's going to be special. As of today, I got to figure out my count, but I believe it's been 13 cities. We're 13. I don't know. Too many cities. And
that's amazing.
In the past, and I've been traveling since June, but heavily since September. So this tour has been going on. We've been to, to Maryland, to Atlanta, to Wisconsin, to Ohio, to Florida. I'm in Florida right now. Barbados, Guyana. Listen, world tour, all because I said I can do it and I did it.
That is amazing. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
I think that's so awesome. And I love watching your journey. I love watching everything. And of course, I'm going to be a part of it. So I will help out December 10th and 11th because your girls got you. I got you.
Yes. And Detroit. Thank you in Detroit. She's reminded me.
Oh gosh, in Detroit. Wow.
Yeah, I just came back from Detroit last week. Yeah, thank you, Monique. That's why I'm like, where am I at? What city? Where am I at? I don't even know. But I do know that we, in the next couple of minutes, and so I don't want people to be like, oh my God, they just abruptly left. But as soon as we leave here, so let you guys know, like as soon as I leave here, we get off of here
on that plane.
I'm headed to the airport to get on the plane. So listen.
But that's amazing. But I thank you. I thank everybody for watching today. If there's anybody, because we're on like 3 or 4 different platforms.
Right.
If you have any questions for Carolyn, please make sure you still post those questions. And one of us will be able to answer those questions for you.
Absolutely. Please do. Like, those questions on, the being an author, being in an anthology. Listen, you still want to be in Her Story? Do you want to be in Her Story too? Come on.
Yes.
Come on. You ready?
Make sure you put that information down.
If they go to the link tree, that's the easiest.
The link tree. And they can get it.
Because if not, they're going to get bombarded with so many links. They're going to be like, so which one is for the book?
I know. Exactly. That's so true.
Which. Yeah. So just put it in there, or just say, listen, just find me and go like, listen, I want information, or I want to be part of it. Because at this point, here's the thing, and I'll just make this a disclaimer at this point. So only those who are serious. I'm just at this point, if you're really serious about sharing your story and doing this stuff and invest in yourself, then that's when you push forward. This is not the time. We're in fourth quarter. Our year is about to end. And we're just trying to make some real impact to catapult us into 2023.
Exactly.
Like, so your next year starts now.
Yes.
Your next year starts now. Your next year starts. Don't worry about the how. If it's something in your spirit that's telling you that this is something you should do, and you're not understanding how, but it just feels like, okay, if you're hearing my voice and it's like, I think she's speaking to me, that means I am. That means I am. So then it's up to you to move forward and do something with it. So if that means you need to, apply to become a speaker, go for it. If that means you need to say, you know what, I'm ready to invest in myself now to be part of this anthology, and to be part of the anthology, it costs. So I'm just putting that out there.
It does.
So, so if you're ready for all of that, you're really, really ready because you want to make a mark and catapult yourself into 2023. That's when you do it. That's when you do it. And that's how I've been doing it. And that's how I'm showing all of these ladies how to just do it. So yeah, I welcome you. I definitely welcome you to the tribe. Thank you. This has just been beyond amazing. And I just thank you. I know we've been trying to figure this date out for a while because, kudos to you by you just stepping out on faith and putting this out there. Now you just said you're booked all the way up until March. Like
March of next year.
Who does that? Like, you do when you say yes. That's the thing. When you say yes, and you don't have to have it right.
Nope.
You just have to just go ahead and do it.
And don't overthink it.
And don't overthink it.
A lot of people overthink everything. If you go and do it, just do it.
Girl, you ain't never lied.
You'll figure it out along the way.
You will figure it out along
You
all of the
really
way.
will.
All of the
Yes.
way, all of the way, all of the way, all of the way, all of the
So
way.
just to let people know, this is a bi-weekly show. We took a break because of Halloween and, the kids going out and play or whatever. But the next person that we have coming up is Nourish Cruz. She will be joining us on the 28th. And if there's anybody who want to go back and see some of the videos from like the past authors and artists, because I've been doing it since January, just go to bit.ly/arts and authors talk, and you'll see all the videos. But I thank you all for joining us. Carolyn, it's been a pleasure.
Yes,
It's been a pleasure. And we finally got a chance to talk.
I know. Thank you so much, first and foremost, to just even wanting to have me, to be part of this.
Anytime.
And I've been part of your Arts and Authors, showcase
for years.
And it's an amazing event. So, can't wait till you do it again. And just the kudos to you from stepping out on faith. And like you said, just doing this since January and just doing it anyway. And you perfect it as you go along. And from what I'm seeing, you do it well, you wear it well. So
thank you.
Congratulations. And thank you so much for having me on once again.
Anytime. But I thank you so much. I thank you all for watching.
Yes, everybody. Thanks.